Senator from Perry.
Yes, Mr. President, if I could, please speak on the bill.
Please proceed.
You know, I have a house full of kids, and my kids watch the crazy stuff on TV, and one of the more enjoyable things that they watch is this program about street magic. And one of the magicians that many of you all probably have seen before is David, I think, Blaine. Now, how do you make a magic trick work? Well, the key to make it successful is this thing called misdirection. You have to get people to believe something that's not true. And I say that to you today because there is no greater example than what we're seeing on this floor right now. We have had decades, by their own admission from the left, where they have ignored this issue. In the years that I spent in the House, again, this issue was ignored. And in 2008, when I came over to the Senate, this was the first chamber that I entered into that wanted to address this pension issue head on. Now, there's a lot of things we could be doing in July. It's been said here repeatedly, 7 times. What are we doing here? Let's gavel out. We don't need to be here. Well, let me help you with something so that you fully understand this. When you live in Eastern Kentucky, when you have the highest unemployment rate in the nation, and you have the highest rate of homeless children in the nation, 25 jobs matter. They matter to a great many people. And that's why we're here. So while it may be funny and there may be some political agenda here and funny things to say, that's not funny. Of course, I'd rather be doing stuff with my family. But those 25 jobs and the jobs that my colleges have talked to me about, they demand that I'm at my desk doing my job. They demand that we pay full attention to solving a problem that you've ignored, leader after leader. So say what you want to about this. We're here because we're finally having a discussion about it. I didn't go to my health departments. I didn't go to my college presidents. They came to me, as they did many members in this room. And all the misdirection in the world is absolutely fantastic to me right now, because I did a quick research here, and I found out that most of the people that are taking the mic over here and are outraged about it have filed 0 bills to fix it. So the folks at home that are tuning in today that see this fake outrage about finally stepping up to do something about the issue, well, they're outraged today. But where were they last year or the year before that, when we saw this problem coming and our Senate president was in our caucus meetings and our caucus was wanting to do something about it? So for me, it's a little bit like a magic trick. And so how do you make it work? Let me tell you how you make it work. You go and you take a group of teachers and scare my teachers by saying, listen, you're next. Listen, let me tell you something. This is just the beginning. Now, don't tell anybody, but they're going to do you next. That's how you make the magic trick work. And to me, that may be, in all my years in this chamber, and all my years as a commissioner from the 90s until now, probably the most disgusting whispered thing out there to scare a group of people who are already afraid, who are already worried about it, who have no spot in this. This does not affect them. I have stood in every single day that I've represented here and defended and protected my teachers. I voted against them on every single bill. And I believe in them and I understand their concerns. But I will not stand here today and let you all whisper around and scare these people. They have had enough. This doesn't affect them. Matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. Your approach of ignoring it and letting this thing go and solve it does affect them. That's what affects them. And here's the careful language. I've heard this said a couple times, and now let me translate for you. And I apologize, I'm getting worked up. But you all, how can you sit in this chamber in the middle of the summer and let this kind of nonsense be floated around to all the people in the gallery or that are watching this on TV and not call it out for exactly what it is? That is why people send us down here. That's why you have a microphone at your desk so you can call up and say what the truth is. But this is what keeps saying, that we need to fund it. We need to fund this liability. We don't need to have them fix it. We just need to fund it. So let's look at what's going on. Here's the core of what's going on today. There are 2 things on the table. We have an imbalance of a structure that's struggling. If it's not fixed, people are going to lose their jobs. We are looking at it in the way, from our side of the aisle, of trying to help them to fix this in the confines of their own operations. See, because corporations can file bankruptcy and they can walk away, but the taxpayers can't. Now think about that. So when they're saying we need to fund it, here's the translation. All the taxpayers out there, they take this unfunded liability and they stuff it on you. So you may be sitting at home thinking you have nothing to do with this, but if this group gets its way, you will have everything to do to this, because that's the only way to make their plan work, is shift this burden over to you. Now come on, guys, we're better than that. We have absolutely got to be better than that. That is a lie. It's exactly what it is. And there's no fancy speech that's going to come over here from this side that's going to change that. Scaring my teachers and wanting to shift the burden over on people that have nothing to do with making this mess. Is that your plan? Now, I'm going to tell you, this bill isn't exactly what Brandon Smith would do, but it's exactly what we need at this moment. It's what my group at home and the people in East Kentucky who value 25 jobs, which may be laughed at here, and the other jobs associated with it, this is what will help us move forward with that. And it's the process that every one of us have participated in. This chamber is better than this. It's shameful to whisper around and tell people that are already scared, listen, you're next. You're next. Well, here's the truth of it. You are next if we don't fix this. Everybody's next if we don't fix it. I don't have to whisper and tell you that. If we don't get our house in order and help them fix this within the confines of their own operation without letting it spread to all the other taxpayers, then they really are next. So I'm telling you, this has got to stop. We have to do better, and we've got to move forward. But most importantly, we have to be truthful about the debates on this floor. Thank you, Mr. President.